You've spent months agonizing over hardware choices, licensing costs, the whole shebang, just to move your organization from VMware Cloud Foundation back to bare metal infrastructure. But today, we're tackling the hidden threat to your migration. And honestly, it's your people. Because look, the most sophisticated physical infrastructure in the world is literally useless if your team doesn't actually know how to run it. Welcome to The Explainer. Let's dive in.
A training plan without milestones is a wish list. That quote right there sets the tone for everything we are going to discuss today. We have to treat training with the exact same strategic urgency as hardware procurement. Tying your training gates directly to your migration project plan isn't just some nice-to-have best practice, it's the single biggest predictor of whether this project succeeds or fails. Seriously, no migration phase should even begin until the prerequisite training is completely signed off. To get us there, we're executing a 5-step playbook today. First, the abstraction gap. Second, assessing current team skills. Third, defining the target stack. Fourth, the dual training mandate. And finally, training under fire. All right, step 1, the abstraction gap. This is the hidden risk of migrating off VMware.
We need to sound the alarm on a very immediate danger here. For years, virtualization has totally abstracted away the hardware layer, right? Your teams are probably extremely comfortable in clean, software-driven environments, like vSphere and SDDC Manager. But moving back to bare metal? That means facing a harsh reality. It means getting back to basics. Your staff has to completely relearn hardware-level concepts. We're talking BIOS configuration, RAID controllers, physical cable management, almost from scratch. Let's be brutally honest. It's been a long time since some IT teams have actually had to touch a physical cable. That abstraction gap is a massive risk.
Which brings us to step 2, assessing current team skills. Simply put, you can't train if you don't know the baseline. You literally cannot train effectively without knowing your starting point. A structured skills inventory across your entire IT team is the absolute foundation of every single purchasing decision you're about to make. First up, assess the current state by surveying your staff on their VMware proficiency. Then, map that to the target state so you can identify the gaps in bare metal OS administration, physical networking, and SAN or NAS management. And third, categorize these requirements by role. A sysadmin has wildly different needs than a network engineer. You've got to audit these skills meticulously before you even think about opening the budget for training courses.
Moving to step 3, defining the target stack. The rule here, lock in your infrastructure decisions first.
Procuring training before you've actually confirmed your hardware stack is a massive budget risk. It creates false confidence, and frankly, it wastes money on courses your team might never even use. As you're locking in these decisions, you absolutely must establish an internal RACI matrix, meaning you clearly define who assigns, who delivers, and who tracks this training. Why? Because ambiguity here just kills momentum. If everyone thinks someone else is monitoring completion, well, no one is doing it. As a leader, you've got to define this governance right out of the gate.
And the complexity we're dealing with here is very real. Take your hypervisor. Are you going with Proxmox, Hyper-V, KVM, or Nutanix? What about networking? Cisco, Aruba, or Juniper? And for storage, is it Pure, NetApp, or Dell? You can't exactly train a team on NetApp if procurement ultimately buys Pure Storage, right? Every single one of these choices demands a vastly different certification track and distinct prerequisite lab skills. So vendor lock-in has to happen before the training kickoff.
Step 4, the dual training mandate. This is the crucial intersection of vendor-specific and role-specific mastery.
Now this is the absolute core of your strategy. Theoretical hardware knowledge provided by a vendor is virtually useless unless it's paired with applied, custom training specific to your organization's setup. Generic courses just don't cut it. You have to filter the training by the specific IT role. Think about it. Your system's admins must focus on bare metal provisioning and firmware management, like Dell iDRAC or HP ILO. Your network engineers? They need to prioritize replacing NSXT with physical VLAN design and routing protocols. And storage admins have to master ISCSI and LUN provisioning. Every single role has a critical yet entirely distinct path forward.
So the first half of that dual mandate is the vendor-specific training. And my direct advice to you executives watching this, do not pay retail for this training. Just don't do it. Negotiate training credits directly into your procurement contracts for your hardware and software. Most vendors will absolutely throw them in to win the deal. Use resources like the Proxmox portal or the Cisco Learning Network. But remember, sequence matters immensely here. Your team has to complete those vendor-led theoretical tracks before you ever start building your hands-on lab environments.
The second half of the dual mandate is custom runbook training. And honestly, this is where the magic happens. Look, a vendor manual will tell you how a switch or a server works in theory, but your custom runbooks, they tell your team how your organization uses that specific tool during a crisis. These are built directly from your migration experience. They essentially become your institutional IP. You absolutely need both elements to survive, the vendor theory and the internal operational reality.
A really great example of building this internal reality is establishing baselines. Your team needs to strategically compare those old vSAN performance metrics against the baselines of your brand new physical SAN. This custom applied training is quite literally the only way to teach your staff what normal actually looks like on the new platform. That understanding becomes the entire foundation for all their future troubleshooting.
All right, final step, step 5, training under fire. Integrating training directly into the migration.
I'll let you in on a little secret. Mid-migration incidents aren't just headaches. They're actually your most valuable training events of the entire project. When an incident occurs, instead of panicking, it just triggers a predefined escalation path. The team resolves it using those custom runbooks we just talked about. But step 3 is the kicker, a mandatory 15-minute debrief, no exceptions. The team documents the root cause and the resolution, and then immediately updates the runbook. That one 15-minute debrief takes a highly stressful outage and turns it into permanent, custom, institutional knowledge.
But to actually survive training under fire, you have to maintain team resilience. Technical performance is completely inseparable from human resilience. As a leader, you've got to reframe the mistakes made during the supervised migration window as crucial learning events, not performance failures. Communicate the daily wins. Keep a close eye out for burnout or skill anxiety. And once you're fully migrated, keep that resilience high by conducting quarterly fire drills. Seriously, go ahead and actively simulate a switch failure. Consider it a pop quiz for your physical infrastructure skills.
So, what does this all mean? It means action. Here is your concrete executive blueprint for the next 30 days. Week 1, launch that skills inventory survey we discussed. Week 2, confirm your target hardware stack and shortlist those vendors. Week 3, build out the role-based training matrix and submit the budget requests for those specific courses. And Week 4, identify your migration champions and enroll them in the first cohort. You need to get this off the ground immediately, because at the end of the day, training readiness is migration readiness.
I want to leave you with a provocative thought to really cement the dual training mandate we've unpacked today. When your very first physical server inevitably fails mid-migration, is your team going to reach for a generic vendor manual, or are they going to reach for your tested, custom runbook? Mastering both is quite literally the only way to survive this migration. Think about that as you plan your next move. Thanks for joining this explainer.